suffocates, whisper in the hall, where justice wears a mask and truth begins to fall. Every thread they pull, every lie they weave, in the courtroom's dance, who's left to believe? Oh, the devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end. The devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end in sight. A photograph fades where the truth once stood, blurred lines between the bad and the good. The scales they tilt with every silver tongue, while the broken cry for a song unsung. Black robes sway like shadows on the wall, one wrong word and the mighty fall. Who's a sinner? Who's a saint? The jury's out, but the verdict's faint. Oh, the devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end. The devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end in sight.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to know why I'm here today? It's not because I want to give you a pep talk or because I want to make you feel good about yourselves. No, I'm here to tell you the truth.
All right, welcome to Crimes After Dark on the Monday night edition, sans Birdie Bombshells. Sometimes I go live with Birdie Bombshells on Mondays. We do this now every other week, he and I, although Birdie might drop into our chat in a little bit. He's doing his own live that started, I think, about an hour ago. And I invited him to come hang out with us after he's done. So depending on how that wraps up, we may see Birdie drop in. Dago may be here or not. I haven't heard from him, but he did say that he was pretty much going to make as many as he possibly could. And maybe every single time we're streaming, he's going to be here. So hopefully we'll see him as well. Joe from State of the Deep, who's a normal part of this panel, is also running behind, but will be here. Robin is having technical difficulties. So she keeps popping in and out backstage, and she can either hear us or we can hear her, not both ways. So that's a struggle that she's still working out. So pretty much it is me and One, King of the Clips, hanging out backstage. So I'll bring him up very quickly. Just wanted to say some hellos first to let you guys know how things are going, and then we will just jump into the show. So of course we got Amanda B in the house, Essie in the house as well, Crime Spy 2024. True Crime with Dago is in the chat room, it looks like, or at least was earlier tonight. So if Dago's there, hopefully we can get that. In fact, let me make sure. Maybe for some reason he didn't have the invite, so I will put the invite in the chat to give him a link so that he can come up with. So Dago looks like he's in the house. We'll see if we get him up on the screen. What else we got? Denarius Targaryen, as usual, 1019 or 1093 is the name of that username. Crime and Chaos, welcome as well. So many cool people here. Everything Me, lots of financial support lately. Thank you so much, James, for what you do for the channel and the support. I get a lot of constructive criticism for James, and so we're always working out the how I can do things better, like maybe shutting up a little bit on the monologue. I'll try to be a little briefer tonight on that. Here for the Truth Now, welcome to the show. You're a regular. I see you all the time in the chat, so that's amazing. I saw somebody earlier saying that they're starting to make these lives more regular for them from Australia. We have a large, it seems like we have a disproportionately large community from Australia that checks us out. That's Sinaj Nilpoj. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that. 1970. Good. It's good morning from Australia. Getting good at making these new lives. Love the den. Hope everything's safe. New Year's. Very, very cool. Glad that you get to make it. Yeah, that time differential is shit. I can't remember what it was. 7-8 hours, or is it more than that? I don't know. It's a hefty, or maybe it's 12 hours. Shit, I don't know. It's a hefty time differential. So very cool that you get to make it in here, and I appreciate you joining us. Falcon Quest 2068. That seems like a newer name for us. Rhonda next door, the she devil in the house, literally, and many other people. So I'm just trying to see if there's any other names in here. Mama J. Just looking for some names that I haven't shouted out right now, just to see. Becca 1019, welcome. Michelle F. Elf is what it looks like, was E1F. So welcome as well. We see that name a lot in here as well. So anyways, have a great evening. Hopefully we're pretty low key tonight. I'll bring up 1-1 right away. 1-1, the king of the clips. How you doing tonight?
Hello, Dan. Hi, Lee. How is everyone doing?
Excellent.
Nice,
It looks like we're gonna
nice,
have a pretty
nice Monday. Getting ready for your favorite holiday, right?
Absolutely. I love this. I'm already in the mode. I'm like way ahead of space. I've already planned out next year's attack plan and my motives and my goals. Like I don't even need New Year's anymore. I've already done it, but I still love New Year's. So good to see you tonight. It may be just you and I for the most part until we get some other people on stage, but maybe it will just be you and I all night, and that's okay. Robin's still trying to pop in and out backstage.
Trying, I think.
Kat K is in the house backstage as well. By the way, again, great night, especially on a night like this when we might have a lower panel for you to be able to jump in. And hopefully she just waved at us. So let's see if she's on there. Robin, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
You're here.
Holy shit. You got it all worked out?
All right.
You got it all fixed.
That's awesome.
So, Robin, what's going on? What was some technical issues going on tonight?
I don't know. I must be a little cursed with the electronics tonight. I don't know.
It's all good.
You had a clone at one point. There were two of you.
Yeah, there was two of you, and you were getting that nice echo, which was driving us nuts. We were you were like reverberating in our ears.
I'll tell you why that was. I was trying to sign in on my phone or my tablet to see which freaking one was going to work.
Well, it's all good, and it's
all
good to see you.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, so these shows on the nightly, I mean, it seems like I've been putting out a lot of videos lately, and and really I want to explain, like, I kind of have 6 cases, but I'm really kind of changing things up a little bit, and I'm going to tell you why. For those who, I'm not going to make a formal announcement on the channel, but I guess I'm making a formal announcement in the lives. We had 5 cases: Idaho 4, Luigi Mangione, and not necessarily, these are not in order of any importance. So Idaho 4, Luigi Mangione, Charlie Kirk, Mickey Steins, and Lisk, Long Island serial killer, was my 5 cases that I covered. Did I get them all, Robin? You gave me an eyeball. Like, did I repeat one?
Nope, you got them.
Okay, I got them. However, a lot of people have been pushing for me to talk about the Delphi case, which I thought was done until they have filed an appeal. When they filed the appeal, I got hooked right off the bat. Now, I'm super, super late to the Delphi thing. But what I did, however, and this is the part that I want to explain to people, because, again, I don't know that I'm going to make it a super announcement, which is I can't carry 6 cases. 5 cases is enough, right? Even with 5 cases, it's hard for YouTube to figure out what I do, right? Because they're
Right.
thinking of me as a case channel and not as a true crime channel. But anyways, I'm kind of replacing the Charlie Kirk story with the Delphi story because it's more in our wheelhouse. If you guys think about it, right? Because Charlie Kirk is very political, and it becomes all about it starts becoming Republicans versus Democrats, liberals versus conservatives, church versus non-church. All of those things are fine for being, but it becomes very political.
Yeah.
And so while I have feelings for sure about that case, and I think Tyler Robinson more than likely is just exactly what they say it is, I still will pay attention, of course, to Charlie Kirk. I think we should talk about it anytime, any night in the chat where people talk about it. But I feel like my main rotation might replace Delphi for the Charlie Kirk story and kind of put Charlie Kirk in a little bit lesser of a position, just because, again, we're not a politics show, and I don't want to be all about the politics. And it's hard. It's hard to talk about Charlie Kirk and not get political.
Right.
Because of the nature of who he is or who he was and the people involved. And so I just, it's not a done thing, but I think you're going to see a lot more Delphi content and a little less Charlie Kirk as far as the regular rotation. But again, we can talk about Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk all day long if you want to, especially if things come up. So there's that. For, what's going on?
Now that, we got a member, Michelle F.
Oh.
Dash Elf became a YouTube member. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much
Welcome.
for joining the family.
Welcome.
It's a cheap little price. It's only like $2.99. I think last time I saw it's like $3, and you get a lot of content.
Lots
and
of
Lots.
Lots of
but
content.
Robin, now that you made it here, I can't let it go without. I was waiting for you, so we were hoping you were gonna make it in. So I'll be quick.
Okay.
Is it good to be alive in the den on a Monday night? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, welcome to Devil's Advocates, podcast where certainty is questioned, narratives are challenged, and comfortable opinions don't survive scrutiny. This is not a podcast for hot takes. This is not a podcast for outrage clicks. This is definitely not a podcast for people who need every question wrapped up with a neat little bow. Here, we slow things down, we rewind the tape, we read what others skim, and we ask the questions most people are too afraid or too invested to ask. Because truth doesn't fear examination, only narratives do. On Devil's Advocates, we don't pick sides, we test them. What if you're wrong? Tonight, we step into a case that shook a town, captured a nation, and divided the internet into camps of absolute certainty. We're not here to sensationalize tragedy. We're here to interrogate the story being told about it. Because when 4 lives are lost and reputations are destroyed, details matter. No dogma, no mob thinking, no sacred cows, just logic, documents, timelines, and uncomfortable possibilities. So ask yourself one question before we begin. What if the story you think you know isn't the whole story at all? This is Devil's Advocates. And with that, live from New York, it's Monday night.
It's funny when you start out saying we're going to slow things down, because talking fast is my forte, and I don't think I slow anything down. I mean, nothing. I slow nothing down. I feel like I'm on fire all the time, like my hair's on fire all the time. So when you say we slow things down, I'm like, who the hell's slowing shit down? Not me.
It is so funny because I'm probably somewhere in the middle. It's like Goldilocks and the 3 bears or whatever.
I don't know that one's all that slow anyways, but yeah, maybe you're the happy medium of the space. But anyways, so yeah, today, I got a free flowing format. I hope that we can get some people to ask some questions in the chat. I did have a video come out this morning, which has made some traction, guys. I don't know if you guys paid attention to that, but I read Yeah, I saw Dago. I'll get him up here in a second. I read that response letter from Idaho Attorney General saying that they're not going to open up an investigation into Moscow Police Department. And why? Because it was a jurisdictional issue. And I read my letter that I responded with to the Department of Justice to elevate that to the next level. And that's gaining some good traction. It's got thousands of views since this morning. It's helped out with people donating to the GoFundMe thing. We've got a couple $100 more in funds coming into the GoFundMe. So that has had some impact today. So pretty excited about that. I'll bring Dago up on stage. Hopefully he's ready for that. I didn't even give him a warning. Just bam, he's on screen. But,
There it is.
Bam!
bam. What's up?
There it is.
What's happening? How are you?
I want some spicy meatballs.
Yeah. Forget about it. Hey.
Forget about it. Fugazi.
Forget about it. Yay. Sorry, I'm late.
No
Sorry, I
worries.
was doing laundry and all the family stuff. Sorry.
Man, I'm sorry. There's just no fucking excuse for that. You need to get the fuck out of here and come back sometime when you put us as a priority.
I get it. I know. I just did a 6-hour show and then had to do laundry. I'm sorry. It's my fault completely.
I don't want-
My apologies.
Oh,
Deep
Man,
apologies.
wine. I don't want to hear about you.
I know. Do you want the big one or the little one?
Yeah. David,
It's good to
what a
see
show
you.
you had. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was great.
I mean, you went over a lot of stuff that I wasn't familiar with, because I really was only somewhat familiar with some of the basics, so I'm trying to catch up. So I have a lot to catch
There's
up
a lot
on.
more.
I mean,
coming
that
tomorrow.
thank you
Yeah.
for showing that the interview hard, very. I don't want to say it's amazing. I mean, it's hard to watch.
Oh God, yeah.
Them
That was
doing that. What was done to Richard. And it's just amazing because how many different people do in our country is something like I mean, obviously this case went nationalized or world or whatever, but just utterly disgusting. Like what was done.
It's
It was
funny
very-
because
Go ahead, Lee.
Well,
Sorry.
it's funny because I'm putting myself out there to look like an idiot. You've been covering that case for a long time. My own team is watching you talk about it for hours. I'm still barely coming up to speed. And so I did a video today that's going to air on Wednesday morning. I've got it in the can and scheduled on the members only, by the way, can watch it right now. But it's basically kind of going back to the beginning with fresh eyes to look at the quote unquote full bridge guy video, right? And giving some of my thoughts. And I thought to myself, I even said in the video, like, I know you're all going to kick me in the nuts and say, DA, you have fucking no idea about this case. You should shut up. You clearly don't know about this case because you guys have all been covering it for years. And here I am coming in again to a case where I don't know anything and I'm looking like an idiot. But I wanted to share
sometimes fresh eyes.
Yeah.
It's a great thing.
You could bring a different perspective.
100%. And that's why I'm kind of grateful you're doing it, to be honest with you, because I'm going back to the very beginning again, probably for the third time now. And again, like I said, there's things that I'm going to see that I didn't see. There's things that I have memorized. It's imprinted, unfortunately, in my brain, just like what one was saying about the Richard Allen's, his interview per se is a horrifying thing to watch, but it, because we know what they're doing. We know what they're doing in the aftermath. So but no, don't ever say that about yourself, Lee. You have, I don't care if you have, I'm just going to put it out there. This is the way I see it with you. If you only know the name of the person in the case and know nothing else, you still have a way about you about presenting it with class. And I appreciate that you can do that. So don't ever say that about yourself, because you do a great job. So
I appreciate that. It's kind of funny. I wanted to talk about what little tiny bit I know about the case, because I did see the bridge guy video a long time ago. I did see some of the Richard Allen interviews on YouTube and stuff as people were putting them in there. So it's not like I'm completely unfamiliar, but I certainly haven't dug into it at the level that everybody does, where you've all torn it apart and know all the names and all the players, right? And so I kind of feel like an idiot with that. But it's kind of funny because one of the things my team knows is I tend to not like enhanced audios where YouTubers enhance the audio and pull down this and up this or whatever. And yet the bridge guy video literally is an enhanced audio thing. They've cleaned up the audio so that you can hear what he says, right? And I'm like, it's funny because I tend to try to not do that on my show too much. And so here's where I'm going with that. And maybe you can speak to this. somebody told me in a comment. So I watched the video and I made a video about my first impressions about the bridge video guy. And it's not really first impressions because again, I've seen it a long time ago, but I watched it for the first time again and kind of really thought about it.
Right.
The 2 words or whatever that he says, guys down the hill, I guess that's 3 words, right?
Yeah.
Guys down the hill. Someone wrote in a comment of mine, go back and listen to what he says. He does not say go down. He does not say down the hill. It's clear that he says something completely different. And when you hear it, you can't mistake it. Listen to it again. And all I hear is guys down the hill. And so I'm like, is it what I complain about all the time? That once you're told what you're going to hear, that's all you hear. But someone told me he clearly does not say down the hill. He says something else. And if you listen to it, you can't miss it. I'm still missing it. Like, what does he say if he doesn't say down the hill?
You tell me, my friend, because I've never heard nothing but guys.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's what I hear.
And Dago, I had a question too for you because I don't know the answer to this.
Sure.
So obviously, so they obviously, they trying to pin, not try. They did pin this on Richard Allen.
Yes.
And get the confession and everything. Now, they have the voice, right? That says guys down the hill.
Yes.
So like what I said in your stream earlier, first off, how do we even know that bridge guy is even the guy that did anything? It's just a guy on the bridge. I mean, yes, he's in close proximity to them, but okay. I mean, I'm sure there are other people who are in this, in that area too, I mean, they are. It is worth questioning. Obviously, they got a picture through Snapchat or whatever, or they got some audio. So yes, of course, it's worth investigating. But one of my questions is,
go ahead.
They have Richard Allen. Did they do any kind of voice analysis? Like
honestly, I don't think.
Couldn't they just have him say I would think by now, especially he's filing the appeal and all that. But now, 2025, I would say, wouldn't it be just something as simple to say, have him say a line, guys down the hill, and compare that to what they have? Now, again, that doesn't mean that the guy on the bridge is even anyone that did anything, but would be at least, if you could definitively, I know you said that you don't think the height, it looks like Richard Allen is a smaller guy and it's not him. But to me, that would also definitively, if you had a way to check, you actually could check the audio, match the audio to have him read a line. I would think that would be something easy to do.
Yeah, two things real quick. First of all, I can't fight wanting now to play Usual Suspects movie where they talk about give me the keys, you fucking cocksucker. But that's a whole other line. Anyways, can you each read this line? Give me the keys, you fucking cocksucker.
Exactly.
Anyways, you have to have seen that movie to know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I do.
Funny ass.
Good movie. Great movie.
But somebody said I'd never seen the bridge guy video. It surprises me sometimes to remember that some people have never seen this stuff. And so if you guys don't mind, I don't know how well you're gonna be hear it. If you have audio equipment and you have headphones, you might want to listen to it headphones. I will play this. This is just a clip from a news article about it's not long, but I will play it for you if you want to hear it yourself. I'll try to everybody shut the hell up on my panel. Yes. Let's listen to this for a moment, and then we'll do this here.
One, remind me. I will answer you when we're through with this here.
Okay. Sounds good.
See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down.
We've seen.
So that was super, super quiet. In case you missed it, because the girls are much louder, I'll play that little clip just a little bit again. He says, guys, she says, huh, or whatever, like, and then you hear him say down the hill. It's super quiet. So for those who weren't expecting it because the girls are so much louder, we'll play that little clip one more time and then we'll let it go. Oops. Back up just a hair more.
Oh yeah.
So that's it. That's
hear it.
The totality of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't hear anything other than down the hill.
Yeah. No, you hear it, guys down the hill. You definitely hear it.
Mhm. Yeah.
But somebody, like I said, and I'd like to know what it was. Somebody said he clearly does not say down the hill. So, and when you hear it, you'll see it immediately. Well, what did they
think they said then?
Yeah, like in all your time, Dago, that you've been covering this, have you heard anybody tell you that it's anything other than down the hill? Yeah, you're muted.
Not at all. Not at all. In fact, that's all I hear. That's all I've ever heard. I've slowed it down, sped it up, flipped it inside out, threw it at the wall, stepped on it, jumped on it. It doesn't change. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? But I will tell you. Go ahead.
Oh no, you wanted to respond to one. I was going to tell you a story about my wife on the thing, but you do your story first.
Truly, first and foremost, what I said in my show today that he hit on is absolute to me. First and foremost, that guy that we see limping on the bridge, that little 40-second clip, that video you showed, they never showed us that until after Richard Allen was convicted and in prison, and then that was released after that. Whenever the gag was, whatever the hell it was lifted. Okay, but for years, all they showed us was that little 40-second clip of him looped. It was looped, mind you, of him taking a step and then down the hill. That's all you hear. Okay, so first off, I'm going to play something for you here in a little bit of who I believe is saying that, and you'll hear the voice. First off, it definitely does not sound like Richard Allen. I proved that today. Richard Allen has a higher pitched. Definitely a higher pitched, lighter voice. That is a raspy, growly, older person voice. I'll tell you that. I believe that was manipulated as well as the video. Okay, because here's my question to everybody that has followed this case for 8 years now, whatever it has been total. Why does the bridge guy have to be the one that committed the crime? Right. What proof did they ever show to anybody anywhere of him committing a crime? All he's doing is walking towards them and makes a statement. There's no gun, there's no knife, there's no threatening talk, there's no nothing, there's no screaming by the victims, no fear in their voices or anything that you can tell. So you tell me that could have been a completely different conversation. Abby's talking about, well, here's the path. There's no path to get down there. What if Libby said, how do we get up to that other side? And he said, guys, go down the hill. And they clipped it, and that's all we have. Okay? So for me, Bridge Guy has never been the utmost absolute, that's him, period. It just never has been, because there's absolutely zero proof other than, and guys, it's the same thing that they did to us with the propaganda in the Idaho 4 case. They shoved this in our faces, and they railed it and railed it and railed it and railed it for years until you have basically no choice but to believe this. That's all I ever knew is this guy. They never showed any other suspects being able to be this person, okay, until after the fact. So that's why I do not, never have, and will never believe that that's the one that did it just because they told me that. So I hope
that's super interesting. And again, I may get exactly where you're at, Dago. I may get exactly where you're at.
Sure.
But, when I was given my first blush, I gave a reason why I thought that probably was the killer, but not Richard Allen, probably. And so I lay out why. And again, this is why we look at it from fresh perspective, right? Because I'll if you watch my video, or if you have time, maybe we'll talk about it tonight. I'll give you the reasons why I kind of thought that was and what my logic is for it. But one of which is it sounded like, and again, enhanced audio is the part that sucks. It sounds like Abby, I think, is the smaller girl, right? And that's coming back behind, and Libby's got the camera, or is that other way around?
I think you have it. It's flipped around.
Flipped around. So either way, it sounded like the girl on the bridge asks, "Is he still following?" That's
Yes.
what it sounded like.
Yes.
And so that's the part that makes me think, well, there was some fear, because one of the girls does, in my first analysis, one of the girls does sound like she's nervous. The other one sounds like she's trying to put on the brave face of like, hey, we're fine. This is, which I do too. Like if I'm with somebody, and this is what I said in the video, if I'm with somebody and I know we're in trouble, I've been in this kind of situation and I know we're in trouble, I try to stay calm for the person that I'm with, even if inside I'm going, we're fucked. Like there's a part of me that's going to keep super calm. And so that's kind of what it sounded like. One of the girls was calm, but maybe knew there was trouble. And the other one was a little bit more panicked and she was trying to keep things calm and whatever. That's what it felt a little bit like to me.
And I can see that too. Yes, sir. You're not out of line by saying that, by no means, and that is absolute, and I take that with every bit of what you're saying as yes, that could be what makes him be that person.
Yeah,
that's all there is that I've seen, Lee. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and like I said, I can't wait to dive into it more, because I mean, I give reasons why I think certain ways, but again, this is the first look. There's so much about this case I don't know. All I was going to say about the wife part that was funny is my wife has a little bit of a fear of heights. And we were talking about going to Delphi, and of course I hear that the bridge is off limits, right? But she saw on the we were watching the documentary Down the Hill, and they showed an aerial shot of the bridge, and she's like, "Oh hell no!"
That's what I said. Same word I said. Same thing. Yep.
Yeah.
And Kim was there. Typically Unique. She's here tonight too. She was there as well. And like when I first saw the bridge, I am petrified of heights, guys. Figure that out, being a firefighter. That was a joke, by the way.
Yeah.
That's the story I could tell you about training. When you have to have grown men go carry a grown man off of a roof, that'll tell you right there. Okay. I got up there, did my thing for training, and then I said, okay, I'm done. Come get me. That was the end of it. So I don't do heights, but when I saw the bridge from the aerial view you're talking about with the drone, I said the same thing. Oh, hell no. There ain't no way, especially how rickety it looks. I'm like, nah, I'm good. So no. No,
well, I'll do it. I'll do it if they allow, but it looks like it's off limits. Like, is it trespassing?
They did put a platform up that alleviates you. I mean, I'm sure you could climb. We were talking about that today at my show. I was with Kim. You could climb and then hop over to it if you're that stupid to do something like that. Sure, but other than that, it's
I'd be that stupid. It's just a matter of whether or not I'm going to get arrested. Obviously, I don't want to get arrested if it's trespassing. Now, granted, a lot of times on trespassing, you get kicked off and then you. But anyways, whatever the case may be, I do have a commercial. I'm going to have a commercial pilot's drone license, so I can fly the bridge. Hopefully, unless it's a federal or a state park, which I don't think it's a park. It's next to a park, but I don't think it's on a park. So I think I should be able to fly it with the drone. So we'll be able to do that. But I just thought
the only thing I would watch for is Kim said that the other end, the end that is opposite that platform, is private property. So knowing how they are, because she told me, and I want to see your reaction too. She said being there was strange, weird. Everything was just it's like going to Castle Rock or something weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see the reaction you get when you go there as well. But I wouldn't fly it. I'd watch flying it over the private property, because who knows, they might get shot out or something. You know, the way the people are.
Yeah, lots of people shoot at drones. A lot of people shoot at helicopters. It's ridiculous. Nothing says redneck American like fucking let's shoot at that goddamn helicopter.
Right. Amen to that one, brother. Amen. Yeah.
We got JJ in the house, so.
I'm gonna finish. Good to have him here. One thought, real quick, though, is that what you just said about the bridge guy thing, and what you said about the girls seeming to be disturbed a little bit, so on and so forth, that's agreed. But the funny thing is with that is we didn't know any of that until 7 years after this all happened.
Wow.
All we knew was the original bridge guy video, and that's it. And they still made that conclusion. So very good point. Very good point.
And I bitch about that. I'll bring Joe up in just a second. I bitch about that as well, about the how law enforcement frequently hides everything from the public, things that would be useful for us to have. I can understand some regards. I could understand not talking about the manner in which the girls were killed, because maybe you want to hide the fact that they weren't shot or they were cut or whatever. Like you might want to hide some of that, right? To be able to, for whatever reasons. But waiting so long to provide us the bridge footage and stuff like that, there's unnecessary levels of hiding everything from the public that just piss me off. And it leads to distrust of law enforcement.
Yeah.
It leads people to not trust them when they have to hide everything from you and act like you're not grown up enough to get this information. We're going to treat you. You will tell you what's important. And that
Absolutely.
attitude just pisses off the average people. It makes us not want to be friends with cops because their attitude is, we'll let, like, okay, small rant. One, hold your ears. One of the things that I get frustrated about in this is that if I call in something that I see, I've seen, for example, a very strange situation. I drove by a woman who was running in what looked like panic from a truck that had skid marks and had pulled over to the side of the road. And there was a guy still in the driver's side, and she's running for hell mail towards me. I called it into the police going, I don't know what's going on, but it looks like some kind of domestic dispute or something because the guy's got skid marks. The woman's running towards me. They said, thank you very much. And I never heard a word. They took my number and and you never hear back. You never hear. So you don't know. Did you save a life that day? Did you just waste their time? You don't know. They never reach back, and they literally have an attitude most of the time of if it's important, we'll let you know. Otherwise, have a nice day. And it's like, it feels like it's a one-sided relationship. They always want all the information they can from us, but you don't get anything back. So you never feel if you're a good citizen or a bad citizen, you're wasting their time. Like, it'd be nice if there was some kind of outrage where they could say, hey, thanks for the tip. It made a difference today or something like that. But you don't get that. It's like, we'll let you know if we need something from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Law enforcement perspective here.
I see your comment. Don't worry, everything me. I have his DNA, so.
You do. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know that you kept my DNA, but you certainly could have my DNA. Let's bring Joe up from State of the Deep. How you doing, Joe?
Well, what's up, everybody? I'm doing good. What's up, DA?
Better late than never.
Robin, Dago. You know, I was listening in to your Delphi conversation, and the last few days I've been doing my catch-up research. I watched Down the Hill, and I started watching the Girls on the High Bridge one last night.
Yeah.
And I definitely have some initial thoughts. I haven't had the opportunity yet to do deep dives, which I plan on doing. But yeah, there's a lot of things happening with that case for sure that I was never that familiar with.
Yeah, I'm super excited to get into the details that I feel like so many people know so much more, but I did my analysis of what I think happened on that bridge. I have some opinions about why the person followed him. I have some opinions about whether or not they were alone or with other people, all those things. So I give my first analysis. And again, I know that people are going to say what you don't know is, but to Dago's point, the whole fucking public didn't know a lot of things about that case for forever.
That's it.
So, yeah.
You know, my first question is, after just the preliminary amount of digging I've done and watching, and it might sound mean, but why the hell are you letting teenage girls go hang out on trails where they have to cross a 70-foot high bridge with no railings, with half of the railroad ties like falling off the thing?
Thank you.
I'm just like, I was shocked.
No, you're not the only one, Joe. The first thing I said when I first saw him, like, where the hell are the parents? And no disrespect to any of the parents by no means, but why are these? How? Like, my kids? No way. Nope. Sorry. No.
I mean, I forgive me if I sound chauvinistic. I'm sorry, but boys were, when I was growing up, old school Irish Catholic family with 8 kids, the boys could go out and do some crazy things and get away with it. And I'm not saying it would be right if they were teenage boys.
Right.
What I'm saying is societally, you would typically give a little more
leeway.
Rope to hang themselves with.
Yeah.
But to see these 2 young girls on this remote trail where they have to cross a 70-foot high bridge, I was shocked. I was like, is this real? Like, when they interviewed the grandmother and the people, and they were like, they were totally nonchalant about it.
Yeah.
Like,
the girls go out and hang out on the bridge, and you're like, have you seen that bridge?
And there's no fear. There's no fear in the parents of like, dude, no, I can't. I couldn't then. I can't now. You know, this day and age,
JJ, I don't know because I know I pretty much I'm trying to get up to speed on this case as well. Dago had a whole show earlier, you know, going from the start. Did you? I don't know if they brought it up in the documentary, but were you aware that the crime scene where they had the sticks and all the stuff, you know, that they didn't even process that till 30 days later?
No, I didn't.
How
I
insane!
Didn't know that.
How insane is that? So obviously they took the bodies, right? But like
Yeah.
the sticks and other stuff around, they didn't even process. It's like how is
Yeah.
that even remotely
just-
even keeping any integrity of the
And
crime?
you guys have to correct me because you guys fill me in on this because you guys would know this. I don't yet. Is it true that they didn't bring him in till years later?
5.5 years later.
5.5
That is
years.
bananas to me.
Yeah, he was
had-
actually he
he
came
informed them.
He came forward
in the
himself.
early days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he came forward saying I was on the trail,
It was, yeah. He was
and
trying
then
to
they
go-
didn't follow up with him, and then it was wild because I watched it, and again I always bring up the read technique. As soon as they started interrogating him, they were doing the read technique to a T.
Yeah.
We got people that they're going to convict you.
We can place you there. We know you were there.
They lied
Yeah.
through the whole interrogation, Joe. They lied through the whole.
Yeah, the whole thing. It's the read technique, like to the highest level.
It was wild. It's wild
Yeah.
when you know exactly what's
Right.
going on.
Right.
Jerry Holman was a joke through that whole entire thing and lied from the moment. And that's we brought up the read technique in the show today. How many times one won? You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, it was absolute obvious. And then you could look, and like I said, we've watched in true crime, guys. We've always watched interrogations, multiple different versions of their interrogations. But you could watch Richard Allen had interrogation, and the man was completely flabbergasted. Like, what? What do you mean? What? No. And he would not give into it, no matter what. And I've seen, you've seen it. Like I said, they can break people to some aspect. Holman was a joke. You know, he played good cop all the way to the very end when he finally got fed up and realized he's not going to break. And that's when he showed his true colors and became the asshole.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, it's very much the read technique, in my opinion. I agree with you on that one.
I pinned a comment for a moment because we had an Idaho 4 comment in the middle of our our Delphi stuff, and I want to know, like, this show, the Crimes After Dark, is open for talking about whatever case you're interested in, whatever. I know for a lot of people are coming here and they're expecting like the normal thing where we spend the first hour talking about Idaho 4 and then we move into other cases. Tonight we started with Delphi and we're kind of heavy on Delphi, but by all means you are welcome to talk about any of the cases that we follow, even maybe questions about cases we don't follow and you were like, heck, you guys aren't following this case. So thank you for the comment and the question about that from the Idaho 4 case. In a minute, is if we transition into that case, we'll either come back to that question or you can come up on, again, I want to invite people to come up on stage with us if you're willing and ask a question. That's the biggest way to shift us off running our mouth all the time. The Delphi case is crazy. Like I said, I'm so glad to get a chance to kind of dive into it because I really thought it was over. But I think, and again, what happens next, and this is one of the things that I like to do on my show, what happens next is going to be a little confusing. So from what I understand, an appeal has been filed.
Yes.
Now, there's several things that happens at this point. An appellate court, this now moves this into the appellate court space. So it takes it out of the trial space, which the trial's over anyways, and moves it to the appellate court space. At this point, from what I understand, there'll be a review of that appeal request, and there's going to be some kind of action. That action might be anything from overturning the conviction to a retrial to some other form of what do they call it? Not remediation, but some other form of basically something other in between. So it could be a reversal, just outright without even another trial. It could be a let's reopen the trial. It could be a some kind of mitigating thing that says something was done unfair. So who knows what's going to happen at this stage. So that's where we don't know. Like, as we're talking about this, the appeal's been filed, but as far as I know, we're still up in the air on what's going to happen with that appeal. I mean, it has to be reviewed, and then they have to decide if they're going to do anything about that appeal or not. I think the appeal has teeth. Looking at the appeal, it's ridiculous.
Big time.
It's ridiculous what
off,
people
off
didn't
the
know.
charts.
Yeah, off the chart.
Just with the judge's actions alone, if that is called into question, you have an absolute. What I hope to see happen here, I personally think it should just be thrown out, flipped over, and it should be overturned completely, and he's set free. Obviously, we know that's not going to happen, but
Right.
they need what I would like to see though is to have have everything overturned, the conviction overturned, and have a full brand new trial with a completely different judge, obviously. That
post conviction relief. Yeah.
100% post conviction relief. And give him a chance to have a fair trial, a real trial. Let all of the evidence be shown, not just the 15 to 20% that was shown, and have it ran in front of a judge that is not as biased as she was. That's what I hope to see. And I guarantee you, if that were to happen, this man will be set free, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think to this person's question that they're asking about, what are they asking? I don't think the appeal necessarily asks for anything. The appeal is this was an unconstitutional conviction, and it's basically asking for it doesn't ask for anything specifically other than to review it, an appellate court to review that wasn't a violation of someone's constitutional rights, that it was a legal and fair trial, and what they do with it at that point is kind of up to the appellate court as how to respond to that, whether it be overturn the conviction and they have the option to retry, or overturn, like overturning the conviction is step one. They could overturn the conviction, but allow them to try again. If you can convict him because he's the right guy, then try him again. There could be all kinds of, as somebody said, relief, post-conviction relief options that are on the table. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But I think here we go. I'm trying to be logical. Anyone with logic would look at that appeal and say that was a travesty. What happened in that case was a travesty. So I don't know how anyone with their right, but when I say I don't know how anyone in the right mind can't see it that way, obviously a judge didn't see it that way when it was happening. So, but again, appellate courts see things differently than lower judges do. So we'll see what the appellate court says. And silence.
I'd be interested to hear what is it, Ron from the Custody Queens? I'd be interested to hear what he his opinion, since that's his expertise, right? So I'm just curious.
Can I give you guys my? Oh, sorry, D. Go ahead, DA. I didn't mean
I was just going to add that I have reached out to the Custody Queens and asked them if they're interested in talking Delphi, and they are. So hopefully we'll hear from the Custody Queens as well. So
yes, I'm supposed to be joining. They're supposed to be joining me again first or second week of January. So maybe I can get them to talk about it too. Yes.
Because see, I'm at the beginning of this, right? About this case. I had obviously heard about it and things over time, but my gut instincts, my initial impressions, I took some notes while I was watching the girls on the high bridge and down the hill, is that when they first and foremost, when they bring him in, he's not acting like someone who's trying to cover anything up, in my opinion. This is just my gut instincts.
Yeah.
Right.
He seems like a guy who's confused as to why they changed their tune on him like they did that first time that they brought him in. And again, I'm just going purely by gut instinct, knowing very minimal information about the case. But then, you start to look at, you understand the town, and you understand that, the other guy, is it Logan?
Yeah.
The other guy?
Right. And he's the owner of the property, I believe.
Right. And then you start hearing things about him. You start hearing information about these other people that are peripherally connected to it. And it really makes you wonder, there's another example of a small town. And even somebody in the documentary said it's an old boys network here,
Right.
And you wonder, and I'm gonna, find out more as I go forward, but it really makes you wonder, what was really going on in and around that town.
Yes.
Diego, you teased earlier, and I forgot. You were going to play us a voice and let us compare it to the down the hill voice and say,
yeah.
Weren't you going to play that for us?
Yeah, you guys are still interested. I thought you just blew me
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
No,
No,
yeah. He's a screw Dago. I don't really give a shit what that guy says.
That's what I figured it was. That was late. That's my punishment. You know.
Yeah. No. We would like to hear it.
No, I'm just teasing. I'm teasing. Yeah. Hold on a minute here. All right. This was one of the interviews that Ron Logan did. Hold on here. Let me get it to the right point. That way you guys don't have to hear all this other stuff. 1 second.
And while Dago's pulling that up, I mean, to go to the forensic side of things, people that don't have a history of violence typically don't just commit horrific violent crimes, at a certain point in their lives. I'm not saying it never happens, but it's just not, it's statistically, it's not that common.
Right.
I'm hoping. Oh, here we go. Let me go. I'm going to shut my mouth and I'm just going to tell you what I'm hoping I'm not going to hear, and just wait to see what I hear. Okay. We're going to add that to stage.
Now I'm going to tell you right out of the gate. He doesn't say guys down the hill, but just listen to the tone and the pitch of his voice is all I'm telling you. Close your eyes, listen to it, and imagine that other video.
You can't get there unless you walk there. I mean, so somebody would be walking with them or something.
Those are the same.
That was Ron Logan.
That is Ron Logan, sir. Yes.
How old was he at the time of the murders?
I don't even remember. This was obviously right at that period of time. I don't remember his age. I don't remember his age when he passed either. But he was caught by the Big C and passed away. And they had him in custody, you guys. They had him in jail because of a probation violation, things like that kind of shit. But all I'm saying is the voice, when I heard the bridge guy video and I first heard his first interview, I went back and I did them side by side. Okay. And I played it and I'm like, damn. That to me, that's the voice.
All right. So educate me, Dago. The girls were found on Ron Logan's property, right? Officially?
Yes, sir.
So does his property go right up to the bridge?
It's pretty decent size. It wraps around in the back and all that, and you can get to it pretty quickly from the bridge. I don't know if it matches right up. I think it butts up to the back end because there's another gentleman that lives next door. Part of that's his property as well.
So I'm gonna live. I want you to correct something for me. I was watching that. It's funny. I stopped the tape with my wife and I said, "Let me get the bearings of what we're looking at." There was a reporter down the hill that had a shot that it made it sound like she was standing on the location where the girls were killed.
Yeah.
And she said the bridge, Monon High Bridge, is that direction. And I stopped the video and I said, "Okay, stop."
Mm-hmm.
The river is on her left-hand side and she's pointing to the bridge that way. What I'm confused about is if you cross the bridge and go to the left and down, it feels like you would have had to have crossed the river itself to get to the spot where they're showing the girls were killed.
That's
Am I missing that?
That's my understanding as well, Lee. The best person to ask in here right now that could answer that would be Kim from Typically Unique.
Yeah.
I don't know for a fact, but from everything I looked at in the maps and everything, that's how I took it too. That's the only way it seems that could happen. You know what I mean?
That's super interesting because
It is.
that means they had to have crossed the river. Now,
Yep.
Granted, I mean, maybe there's tree branches that fall across the river and you can walk across the tree branch across the bridge. But it did seem, like you said, I mean, it's funny. I'm just doing this live. I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. Right to the base of the bridge, you're on the wrong side of the river from where they showed in the documentary. Because again, I watched, the river was on the left-hand side, which means they had to have crossed the river unless I'm missing something. But it sounds like
she just said yes. She just said yes. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I just lost it. Where'd it go? Next to the cemetery and straight out to the creek. So yeah, you're 100% right, Lee.
interesting.
Which is very
Dago,
interesting.
is
if
it?
you think about it.
Dago, is this? I just found some info on it. I did not know this at all. He worked for Disney. Is this the right Ron Logan?
Ron Logan?
Not that I knew of.
It says Ron Logan, former Disney executive known for his deep ties to Delphi, Indiana, was born on February 9th, 1938. Sadly passed away on August 30th, 2022.
I didn't know he worked for Disney, but
Having served Disney for decades and later that's what I'm asking. And decades and later teaching at UCF, deeply connected to his Delphi roots.
No, that's not Ron Logan that we're talking about.
No, it's a different Ron Logan.
Yeah, it's got to be 100% because this guy is definitely not.
I'm just saying because it's a small town, so
right. Like how many? Interesting.
Maybe they were related. Logan, I mean, is a pretty basic.
Right.
Ron is too, so it could be. That's very odd, though. I never knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oksana in here keeps adamantly saying no, it's not him. That's not Disney. So it is interesting because you're reading it. I'm like, what are the likelihood you have another Ron Logan connected to Delphi?
Another Idaho 4 thing.
It was weird because when you first said that, I thought maybe they covered Stephen Stearns from the Madeline Soto case or something when I heard that because I know he worked for Disney, but I'm like, no, not this guy. That Disney wouldn't have hired him if they even looked at him. I'm just telling you, this guy.
Did anybody else? Again, I'm just telling you what I thought when I first saw it. That the former, where is it? I wrote it down here. The former chief deputy guy. I was like, that guy looks like the guy that was on the bridge.
Oh, Doug Carter. Yeah, a lot of people have said that.
His name is Mike Thomas. Former chief deputy Mike Thomas. He was interviewed a lot in the documentary. He had like a scruffy gray beard and short, like gray, almost like a flat top, but a little longer, kind of grayish hair. He looked like the sketch. Like they're showing this the artist sketch, and I'm like, this guy they keep interviewing looks like the dude in the sketch.
Sure.
By the way,
real quick. I think I know who you mean, but there's so many names that it's been a minute too, so I have to look it up to see if I know who this is.
Because I took some notes.
Dago, feel free to interrupt me when you get there, but I want to bring up a point real quick because here's something that was super interesting to my wife and I when we were watching the documentary Down the Hill. So they were talking about, you remember, originally they released this sketch of a person who's a middle-aged man, kind of maybe looks a little closer to what Richard Allen looks like. And then later on, they came out with a new sketch and they literally said, this new sketch replaces the other sketch. This is the guy we're looking for. It was a guy in his 20s, young kid, larger hair, completely changed everything. And as Down the Hill said, it freaked everybody out because they're like, we just wasted our time looking for the wrong guy because you're telling us now this young guy is the guy to look for, not this middle-aged guy all of a sudden.
They kept that buried for years, Lee. That other sketch, that was buried. And a lot of people I believe, that would be somebody by the name of Logan, who is the son of somebody else somebody that actually looks like Bridge Guy, and the sketch that looks like the other sketch, and he dated Abby as well. So
yeah, well, I'm glad you said it. It's funny. I'm coming up to speed pretty quick because I was thinking Brad Holder's son would be. I'm kind of happy. I'm coming up to speed fairly fast. But anyways,
you're good.
But one thing I wanted to say that I thought was super interesting, and even my wife said that makes sense. They said, to a young person,
Mike Thomas,
everyone looks old.
Yeah.
And to an old person, everyone looks young.
Yeah.
So they said, if you take the two sketches of the two individuals, the young one and the old one, and overlay them together, you see a lot of similarities. And is it just a matter of who the eyewitness is? If an eyewitness was young, they see an old man on the bridge. If it was an old person, they see a young person on the bridge. And was it indeed the same person just from a perspective? I thought that was fucking weird. That was like, I never even considered that possibility. They look like two completely different people to me. But through tricks of the camera and stuff on the documentary, they overlaid the two pictures and went, they're really actually the same guy, I think. It's just that it's a matter of perspective. A young person sees it as an old guy sees it as a young person, and therefore it's the same person.
Just looking at the person walking, my initial impression is that it was not a very young person. It looked to me like it would have been a man, maybe
middle-aged.
40s at the very youngest.
Mhm.
You know, just the way they walked, their the way they carry their body, and that was my initial impression.
Yeah. And Brad Holder would have been too young to fit that perspective, I would think, as like some of these people are saying Brad Holder, right? Or not Brad Holder. Yeah, Brad Holder. So well,
Yeah.
his son Logan.
And Logan is the younger one, yeah.
Would Logan look like the bridge guy? Are you thinking that he could possibly look like the bridge guy? Or just look at the sketch? He looks like the sketch, right?
The younger sketch, yes.
Yeah, the younger sketch. Yeah.
But let me show you something real fast, if you don't mind. Just a quick shot here.
We'll do it live.
Do it live right there. Throw that up real fast. This right here. Look at the hat. Look at the face. Now tell me who that looks like. Right here in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You could. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Is that the dad or not?
That's Brad Holder.
That's Brad Holder. Yeah.
And Logan is oh my God, he's one of them. Okay, but if you look at their faces,
yeah. So
okay, it's not this one over here, not this one, I don't believe.
So the guy in the plaid shirt in the middle there is Brad Holder.
Mm-hmm.
One, I don't want to jump too much to speculation on a brand new case, but it does bear a resemblance, right, to Bridge Guy.
Here's my thing with this. It doesn't bear a resemblance to Bridge Guy. It bears a resemblance to the sketch. So
to the sketch, yes, right.
Okay,
yeah.
So let's take that into account. Bridge Guy to me looks like, in my opinion, Ron Logan because of the height and all that other stuff. Okay,
right, and the voice you said that matched,
and the voice and all that. That's where I came. But that doesn't mean, guys. I'm gonna tell you right now. ISP, God, it sounds like I'm saying Idaho. Indiana State Police themselves claimed more than once that they believed this was a multiple suspect situation, okay? And it was ignored. So Brad Holder, Pat Westfall, all these other people could very well be involved and could have been there at the same time, guys. There's no doubt in my mind. So
yeah,
it makes me wonder. Just makes me wonder. All I'm saying.
It's so interesting. It's so interesting because I don't disagree with you, Dago. If you see my video, I make an argument why it could just be one guy, but I don't disagree with you. It can be more, and I don't disagree with you that somebody could have led the girls down to somebody else that was down there as well. So there's several things that could have happened there, but I'm so interested to get into this. And see all
my biggest thing, Lee, is that these girls had to be led to a place. They had to be assaulted. Of course, there's two of them. They were dressed and undressed and redressed and moved and this and that and everything else. That's a lot of work in an outdoor area for, in my opinion, one person to do is all I'm saying.
And which is what I cover in my video as well. I mean, there's no way if you don't have them bound, if you don't have them restrained, then one of the girls is going to take off as soon as she sees somebody starting to get cut up in front of them, right? There's no way you can't subdue both those girls as one person unless you've tied them up. Now, again, I theorized if he did have a gun, could he have used the gun to get them to stay in place and then tie them up? But there wasn't any, from what I understand, there wasn't any ligature marks of anything that indicated they'd been tied.
No.
So all of these questions are running through my head.
They had to cross the creek too, so one person's going to do all of that and cross the water and this and that.
With two girls, right? With two, you're going to force two girls across the water. I mean, there's a lot of questions. Yeah. Oh,
the site that they found the girls, you guys, was searched that night before. They find them there 11 a.m. the next day. They were moved. They were moved. They were not moved by one person. I'm just saying.
As I was curious. I'd be curious to know if anybody thinks that cell phone video is a lot longer and they just refuse to release it.
Absolutely. It was already shortened once. Why are we to believe that it wasn't shortened even more than that?
You know, Diego, you brought up another question I never really considered until just this moment. I can't believe I missed this one. So you're right. There was a search party out there till at least 2 a.m. or whatever they said. And people were walking all over the crime scene, by the way, and things like this. Right. But you're right. They didn't find the bodies until later. Who's to say that the place and manner of death isn't different from where the bodies were taken, and the whole ritualistic manner could be a staging by somebody who wanted to throw it off that it was something that other than it was. Like, part of me thinks it was a ritual element.
I will guarantee you, Lee, that it was done somewhere else. William Labrado, one of the secondary attorneys, clearly stated out of his own mouth, his own words, he said that he believes that Richard Allen is 100% absolutely innocent of this, and he does believe in the Odinism theory. And they said, well, why? He goes, because one girl was sacrificed, one girl was murdered. That came from the attorney's mouth. That's how he said it.
That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like to me too. But.
Oh, I mean, the one girl was left completely disrobed, trigger warning. Okay, there was no clothing. The other girl had the other girl's clothes on her, and it was just, the whole thing doesn't make sense. And that's what I'm saying. It absolutely has a form of ritualistic look to it, and then the other side of it, like Labrado said, just a murder because she was a witness to that situation, possibly. So
I hate to get really dark. Oh, go ahead, Robin. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. When you're doing a ritual, 9 chances out of 10, you have a specific place. There is a specific place that is considered sacred and holy to whatever deity that you are sacrificing someone for. So they're not going to just do it willy-nilly out in the middle of the woods. I mean, there would have to be even if it was outside, there would still have to be a location set up specifically as an altar. So something you're just gonna, take them out on the bottom of the bridge and do.
My thoughts is that they were inside of a household while that search was going on, and then they were brought back out. There were 2 people that stayed there that night, out in that area overnight. And Kim brought a good point. I want to know who they are, who they're associated with, who they work for, and why, how long they were out there alone. I do want to know who those people are. For that reason alone, yes. Are these people that just kind of look the other way while something was done? Were they involved in that? Possibly. Who knows? I'm just saying there were 2 people after they shut down the search because it got too dark. And when it gets dark out there, it gets super dark. You can't see anything at night. So, go ahead, Robin.
Go ahead. I wanted to point something out. Somebody asked the question about the tarot card. I just wanted to mention it real quick because I do mention it in my video that's coming out on Wednesday as well, which is, and if I can get the fucking thing to display, pardon my French. I got such bad language. I'm terrible. The card that you're talking about, in my opinion, is this card. And that's because one of the bodies was positioned with a leg underneath the other, much like the Hanged Man traditional tarot card. Now, I will tell you this a little bit. I know a bit about tarot. I know about a little bit about the history of these things. The Odin was allegedly, so Odin, who is a subject of the Odinist thing, Odin was positioned like this as well, hung upside down with a leg underneath him. But the traditional tarot card, by the way, just for FYI, didn't actually get inspired by Odin. Although when you look into all of the religions and all of the myths, a lot of them play off of each other with that. So later traditions did pick up Odin as being this figure of the hanged man with the leg behind him. But yes, to somebody's long way to say, just because I just happen to know a little bit about tarot and about these things, that's what you're talking about, is the body positioning that was suggested. There was even suggestions in the appeal that the girls had been articulated such that they were upside down, or suggested that they were positioned so that the blood would flow over their head, and then the leg placed underneath the body like this in this hanged man photo, indicating that it was a ritualistic aspect. And
unfortunately I saw the actual crime scene photographs. Okay, they are 100% positioned in a certain type of way, and it makes me sick because Jennifer Coppendopper came out, and I'm sorry for mentioning specific names, but I can't handle her, and said, well, it looks to me like the branches just fell on the girls. There's no way in hell, folks. The one girl's legs are crossed at her ankles perfectly. Their positionings with one arm up. The sticks are laid, and those sticks were cut, folks. You can see the cut marks. They just didn't break off. They were laid in specific positions, specific reasons why, in my opinion, along with the bodies. There's no way in hell that was accidental. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, it seems like they would have, and it's dark. It's really dark, but they would have taken them somewhere and unfortunately did really bad things, and that's brought them back, and that's why one of them had the other one's clothes on, because the scramble to bring them back
Bingo.
to that location.
Yes.
They probably didn't remember which clothes which girl was wearing. They weren't worried about that, so they just threw clothes on one of them.
The only question I have about that is the girls were pretty different in size, so I don't know that you could mistake. I mean, almost it felt like it was done intentionally, but maybe not. Maybe it was. I mean, even the prosecution hinted that the change of clothes was because it was hastily, and the girls were like trying to redress themselves.
One of the girls, one of them
was
had the other. One of them was completely nude. You guys knew that, but one of the other girls, and I'm sorry to interrupt, Lee. I don't mean to do that. I have to speak when I think, or I'll forget it.
Yeah, no.
Was wearing 2 bras. Okay, as an undergarment.
Oh wow.
Okay, that was something else that was brought to my attention a long time ago, and was absolutely wearing the other girl's clothes. And there was a big difference, yes, in their sizes, but you could see it. You could tell the difference when you look at the photograph.
Now I have to ask this question. Dago, and so I haven't seen the crime scene photos. I've seen the diagram that was in the diagram that they drew with the sticks and stuff on top of the body positioning and the appeal. I'm not a morbid sick bastard. I do want to see the crime scene photos because I want to see it for myself to analyze it. Is it still available for people, or is it hidden? Or
we'll get together and I'll show it to you. It's never something I would ever put out.
Right.
And the only reason why
I won't show it either. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would never put it out live ever. There's way too much respect for the girls and my side of things. There are people that will do it though. They don't care. There was somebody that had him behind a paywall that was telling people you can pay to see this, and that, and everything. Shame on her. But anyway, I want to protect their integrity as much as I can. I looked at them to see and they're really not as bad as you would think. It's not as grotesque, I guess you could say, as you would imagine. You can just see what happened, period, and how they were positioning. That's what I wanted to see, was the
positioning for yourself. Yeah,
truly, that's all I wanted to see.
Right.
And so and I'll show them to you, Lee. I have no problem doing that. It's absolutely what it is. You look at it and you can tell immediately when you look at it, that's what that is. There's no doubt in my mind. For anybody to deny that, all they're doing is avoiding it and hiding it, in my opinion.
I think they even literally, I think it was in the appeal. I think it was an appeal itself. Maybe it wasn't. They literally said the sticks that were arranged on the girls literally resembled the tattoo on, was it Brad Holder's hand or whatever? And he literally said it's a binding rune. Sorry, not ruin, a binding. Yes. And it had the same. That's another reason why I want to see it myself. I want to see for myself how close. I don't know how well you see the stick positioning, but I want to see
very clearly. I
want to see the stick positioning. Yeah.
It's very. It tells me when I look at it, like I don't have law enforcement background. Anybody that does, if you look at this and you know anything about the Odinistic, like runes or anything, you see it clearly. After I saw of course I saw the other stuff in the diagrams you're talking about before I saw these photographs. And then when I saw it, I was like, holy shit, are you serious? It's right there.
And what about Dago? What about the L-shaped, upside down L-shaped rune, possibly a blood on the tree?
That's hard. It looks to me, it looked more like an F, but you're right. It's there. It's hard to see because it blends with the tree bark and stuff like that. I saw the photograph of that way early on. To me, it matches right up. I did a whole show on nothing but Odinistic runic stuff and things like that. I showed everything in there, what they meant, so on and so forth. And it is that same thing, the F. It looks like the F. Somebody, I think it was Coffindoffer again, tried to say, well, it looks to me like somebody took their hand and went like this on the tree, maybe one of the victims. No, it's not.
Yeah. No, right. Yeah. That's what they said. That she had leaned up against the tree and kind of put her arm in this position. And yeah.
No way.
It just, this kind of shit drives me crazy because why it's so clear the mainstream media has zero interest in ever investigating anything.
They don't care, Joe. They don't care. It's about money.
Anything. They won't even stray remotely past the line of the official narrative.
Yes. No, it's all money and views and not ratings. I'm sorry, not views, but that's all they care about. If it's in a script that they're told to read, they don't care. That's why it makes me sick. These are 2 little girls whose souls and lives were taken from them for no reason. Okay. And that is what like eats me alive about this case. And then you have these mainstream media people that come out and they say, well, this, and this. And you know, Richard Allen here, Richard Allen. Stop talking. just stop talking because you don't care about this. You can tell they don't care, and that's what makes me sick about it. So,
I see here. I'm looking at info. So Logan, they had proof that he lied about his alibi.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know he wound
I
up.
think he.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
he asked his cousin to lie for him as well.
Yeah, he said he went to. Wanted to go to this aquarium store between 2 p.m. and 2:30 p.m.
And
completely lied. I mean,
real quick. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, going back, Murky is in here. She's a part of my community as well. She's helped with a lot of the pictures and stuff like that and information. But yeah, she made a good point in here that one of the pictures, it shows another one of the alternate suspects, in my opinion, Patrick Westfall, painting that same runic F, we'll call it, on a tree during a religious meeting.
Jesus.
What else do you need to see to understand what the fuck this is? Excuse me, Robin. Again, I'm going to apologize ahead of time, Lee, and everybody. This case, really, I'm beyond passionate about this, and it really gets me stewed. So
if it's one thing I understand, it's passion. So I'm with you. I'll be screaming as much as you when we get there.
Be screaming together, 100%.
Yeah, and I can see how in your, let's say, Ron is the one on the bridge, for example. Maybe the girls didn't know him, and maybe and again, you can. It is possible that one of the people that involved in the ritual, if it was a ritual killing, did know the girls, but that's not the person who was following it. Somebody else could have been following the girls.
Yeah, I think that he was one of a handful of people. Like he had a job, somebody else had a job, somebody else had a job, somebody else had a job. You know what I'm saying? That's how I think this went down, to be honest with you.
And this is what I told people in the video that I cut as well, is that once you and not that it matters, but once you get onto that bridge at a certain point, it's a point of no return. If somebody comes in behind those girls, there's nowhere to go. Like you're trapped. So if somebody if somebody knew that they were going to herd the girls down there, all you'd have to know is that the girls are coming to that bridge. Wait till they got out on the bridge, and then they're done. That's it, because there's nowhere to go. You can't go left and right, or you're on a long free fall down to the lake or the river, or you continue on and go down where you're where something happens.
She told Logan she was going there. Lee, she said,
she
told Logan that she was going to be there at a specific time that day, so on and so forth. Again, what else do we need to know? Do you know what I mean?
I'm with you. Like it sounds pretty straightforward. You know what it doesn't sound like is Richard Allen.
100%. And by the way, Kim said when you go there, if you go to walk the path, which I believe you can do that. She said to take note of and pay attention to the wide cut branches, how many there are. That's something of importance. I would imagine that once you see some of these things, once you see them, you're not going to
unsee it.
You want to unsee it, right?
Yeah. I'm excited. Well, I'm not excited. Excited makes it sound like we're excited about death. We're not excited about death. I'm excited to put my boots on the ground and see it.
Excited about truth. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
See, they were tracking his cell phone data too.
Oh yeah.
Of Logan. And it says that they're pretty sure he was near Monon High Bridge Trail on the afternoon. He sent the message from his phone at 7:56 on February 13th, indicated the phone was likely outside of his residence and in the proximity of the murder scene. But
yes, sir.
I know, it's just interesting.
Is Indiana an open carry state?
No. No, that's a good question, though, isn't it? I'm telling you, she told me that everywhere she went in that town, she said she went into a restaurant, Lee, and there was cameras in the restaurant, like pointed at her table, and she was like telling her husband, like, "Don't talk." Shh. You know what I mean? The whole town is so weird. William Labrado voiced in his interview, if we ever get to that point, for you to see that, you could look in his eyes when he's talking. He was weirded out, and then was attacked because of what he said. Beat up and had to kind of retract his statements and kind of stay out of sight. I mean, this was an attorney, for Christ's sakes, that went through this, and this is nuts. This whole area, and Mama Bear, my co-host, lives in Indiana, and she told me that this area has always been odd. That's the only word she said was odd. Well,
thank God I'm a smaller true crime channel. Maybe I won't get my ass kicked when I go to Indiana.
Right. Don't be walking around holding cameras in you with your name on your T-shirt, like here I am. You know what I mean?
No merch on my walk. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. You end up in the situation JLR did when he got attacked by the guy with the flags on his truck. If you remember that one,
Mama J says Indiana is open carry. So
it is.
We'll have to see. Yeah, because if it's open carry, then maybe you should have some protection with you when you go.
My apologies, and I'm sorry. I thought it was carry concealed. My deepest apologies, guys, for missing.
I don't know who's right. I'm just saying somebody said that. So yeah. No, 2022. Indiana's open carry as in 2022. Somebody said. So we'll see.
Yeah, Murky lives there too. She's the one that has helped with a lot of information. So
yeah. So yeah, wow. We talked a lot. We talked a lot about just riffing off of Delphi. And I'm so far behind. It's not even funny. But
you'll be caught up soon. I promise you. As long as you're hanging with me, I'll have you caught up. Probably way quicker than you want. I'll just tell you that.
Yeah, I know. Again, as horrible as it sounds, I do want to see the crime scene photos so I can see it with my own eyes. I won't share that with people on the live, so we won't do that. But for an investigator perspective, I want to be able to give my own sniff test to what I see. So
that's exactly why I did it too, just so I could see that situation. You know, it's hard to look at in some senses, just like But I was a first responder. I've seen worse things, way worse than this, and I did expect a lot more, and thank God there wasn't. I'll give you that much. There's a lot of integrity within the photographs, the way they were taken. I'll say that much, but it's very sad still to know what it is and why. So
right. Oh yeah, that's in it. Yeah, exactly. Enough said about that. I understand, and it's going to be difficult as well. But
sure. I'll get together with you in the Discord or something like that, and we'll have a little discussion about it. That's
yeah.
I got something for JJ, but it's Idaho 4 related.
DA eat at the restaurant across the courthouse.
This is up JJ's alley. I got so this is something that Phoenix was showing earlier. It's a little paragraph. University of Idaho has been awarded $1.33 million as part of 2 major multi-institutional grants from the U.S. Department of Defense to support machine learning research aimed at advancing the diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder and enhancing support systems for military families experiencing stress throughout the deployment cycle. The funding will support research at the University of Idaho, led by Assistant Professor Colin Xu, to develop machine learning models that improve early detection of adverse health outcomes for military service members and their families. The projects will examine how machine learning techniques can be applied to psychiatric and public health data to strengthen military health.
You're muted, Joe.
Joe, you're muted.
It's weird he's not, actually.
I would say, sorry about that. I would say, I bet if we dig it, I'm just a guess. We'll find some connection to predictive policing funding because PTSD. We got to keep an eye on these either vets or these people with PTSD. So we have to, we'll have to really ramp up the domestic surveillance because we found in our study that they're prone to commit violence, et cetera. And that's how you ease into domestic surveillance, predictive policing, a la Palantir.
Yeah.
Well, so it's funny because, like I said, I just this case I can tell is going to drive me bonkers. It's funny because I gave my initial, it's kind of funny. I'm glad that I did my initial take. Even though I probably am now rethinking some of the things I may have said on my initial take that's going to air on Wednesday, but that's good. My initial take is what my initial take is, right? And so if I revise that afterwards, that's perfect.
That's how you learn. That's how you learn.
That's how you learn. Yeah. All right. So any other topics, by the way, I think we've talked, I usually like to spend about about this much time talking about whatever the main case of the night is. I think Delphi just officially became the main case of the night. I know that a large number of the people who follow this channel are Idaho 4 people. So if we have some Idaho 4 questions out there, or even if any of the other topics, Long Island serial killer, I did a video on that just recently. I think that came out this morning. Didn't the Lisk video come out this morning on Peaches, or was that members only still?
I think
I'm losing track of time.
I think it was members only.
Okay, it's coming out tomorrow. That's right. So tomorrow's is the Long Island serial killer Peaches, Andrew Dykes story, and then the next day after that, Wednesday, is Delphi, and then we're gonna have a couple more cases, and then So, anyway.
By the way, we're even on that one, Lee. Since remember how you said in the beginning about how you don't know a whole lot about Delphi, and this and that. Okay, so we're even now because I know because I did the basics on it, but I don't know the Long Island serial killer thing. So we're even that way.
Nice.
and you can help me out on that one.
We got plenty to give you. We got plenty to give you on that.
I covered it like I said. I just did kind of the basic, scratch the surface. Here's the deal. Here's what happened, and it didn't happen. Here's the guy's name, and that was it. So
I grew up. I grew up 7 minutes. I grew up 7 minutes from that guy.
Oh,
believe that?
Wow.
And I put boots on the ground in October and walked past Rex's house and filmed it. I met with attorney John Ray, who's been representing the family of Shannon Gilbert, and met in his office and talked to him about the case. It was a very surreal moment in my life to be that close to the case and talking to attorneys that are literally like, they know these people, and I'm like, this is so weird being there talking.
Oh yeah, I've been there with that situation. I parked in Jeffrey Dahmer's driveway and spoke to his neighbors at one time. So. Yeah,
it's kind of surreal.
His house that he grew up in is like 15 minutes from me. It's a very surreal feeling. And you're standing there going, "Oh my God, this psycho was here one time," you know?
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So So, anyways, any questions from the comments in here that we got? Lee, look at the Holly Bobo. Lee, look at the Holly Bobo case. It's back in the news, trying to get a new trial. You'll be super interested in that case. Do you know about this case? Anybody?
I do. Yeah, I did cover that one a while back. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild.
And why is it back in the news? Is it having an appeal or something? Did it have a conviction, or is it never solved? Or
that I don't know. I'm that was news to me, and I'm kind of interested to know why myself.
Yeah.
So, yes.
As I say though, I need another case. Like I need a hole in the head. Like I can't keep up as it is. And the worst part about it, Dago, from my perspective, I don't know if you run into this, but being a show, I think because you're a similar show as mine, you talk about multiple cases.
Yes.
And so when you're competing with channels where all they do is one case, you always feel like you're way behind. Like, shut up, man. You can't compete with somebody's channel because that's all they do. They live, breathe, and die one case all day long. So it's hard in that respect.
And it's like, absolutely hard. But here's the problem. It's an addiction, you guys. I swear to God, it's an addiction, because when I find it's something that there's no answer to it, or it looks funny, I have to cover it. That's all there is to it. I can't not do it. So I get it.
Right.
I get it. In fact, my wife was home. She's like, I know that there's this, when the Aguilera case came, the girl that supposedly took her own life and jumped 17 floors, she looked at me and she goes, "Don't do it." And I said, "Huh?" She goes, don't do it. I'm not kidding. She goes, "You're not going to get yourself wrapped up in this and that and that and that and that, because I know what's going to happen to you." She was like, "Don't do it. I'm not kidding." And I was like, okay, but I did it anyway. So.
Yeah, it's an obsession. People who know me know I have a passion for civil liberties violations, wrongful convictions. I have a passion for over policing and stuff like that, and trying to stop and mainstream narrative bullshit. I hate how mainstream narrative has dropped the ball. They're no longer investigative. All they do is repeat narrative bullshit to convict people in this country, in a country that prides itself on supposedly believing the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. And yet all the media does is convict people in the court of public opinion before they ever step foot in a courtroom. And so I have a super passion about it, and I can't let things go when I smell bullshit in a case like this one, or Idaho 4, whatever. I smell bullshit. I'm like, that's fucking not what happened. You sons of bitches. It makes me angry.
Too many. I've seen things in chat. Like, there's so many of them. I have like a handful lead that I cover, that I'm still covering, that are regular, but I still have like the Missy Beavers case in the background. I have the I can't even remember some of the names of them, but there's like another 30 of them in the background that I will go back to at any given time. So yeah, I get it. Wholeheartedly get it.
Sometime we should dig in a little bit to the Austin alleged serial killer scenario.
Oh, I've done that too. Big time done that. Lady Bird Lake too.
Yeah, because I dug into that a little bit, and I was in Austin a year ago, and so I kind of had for a while I followed and dug into that case, and that's a pretty wacky one.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with the Lady Bird Lake one. I have been for years now, and I can't. Austin, I tried to link Austin and that one, and the smiley face, not the happy face, or the other one, not the one from the 80s or 70s, but the other one. They're all linked together as far as I'm concerned, and I've been looking at it that way for a while now. So yeah,
Yep,
it is insane. So you're absolutely.
I don't know how people do it. Like, I don't know if I'm just old or slow, but I don't know how people follow this many cases. Cause like when I get into a case, it's like all I'm doing practically. I'm just constantly, and then all day long, I'm getting, you got to watch, you know, my favorite is you got to watch Lana's 7-hour breakdown today. I'm like, I don't fucking have 7 hours to watch Lana talk about it. Like, I'm sorry. It's no disrespect to Lana, but I don't have 7 hours to watch Lana talk about it. I'm doing my own thing.
Yeah, it's hard as hell to do. This is why I forget my name sometimes, and make sure
piss myself a little bit.
Yeah, make sure I have underwear on. Forget my name and piss myself when I run the microwave. There you go. Yeah, 100%.
It's hard, man. It's hard to dig into something to the level that it needs to be.
Yeah,
when you're busy, you know, it's hard. Like, I don't have nearly the time to dig the way that I would normally dig on a lot of stuff just because of my whatever everyday life BS. But when I had years of digging into more like the profiling end of it.
Yes.
And it's pretty deep and dark shit.
Definite, Joe, definite. And to answer, I can't say her name right now, but yeah, I have looked at and seen the Chicago connection with that 100%. Yes, I have. But Joe, you're right. It's very dark at some time. I don't sleep. When I do sleep, I have weird dreams sometimes. I think about things. It's just, yeah, you're absolutely right, my friend. Absolutely right.
Do you suffer, by the way, I don't know about you guys, but do you ever suffer from when you're researching a case and you feel like you're naming names and pissing people off? Do you ever start to feel a little bit like you're crossing into dangerous territory and you're expecting to get murdered in the middle of the night because you pissed off the wrong person?
Absolutely. I have the email.
I live like that. I
have
my guns loaded.
If you read some of my posts on Twitter and X, you'd know that I understand that feeling.
This is why my moderators know why I have certain things placed around my house in certain spots. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
They know for a reason. Yes.
It's funny. I don't want to go into too much details about my home security, but I got, when I started, I tell you what, when on the Idaho 4 case, when I started writing letters to the Attorney General and to the Department of Justice, and I started writing letters to Bill Thompson, I said, I might be kicking the bear here a little bit. Like, I might want to up the home security.
Yes, sir. 100%. Yeah. A couple years ago, we did that situation. Yeah. So.
Oh, thanks for the new member, by the way. I just was I pinned that a minute ago. Thank you for becoming a new member. Appreciate that very much. Every bit of that membership helps. And I feel like you will get a ton of value for the $3. It's like super cheap and you'll get a ton of value. I'm cutting a lot of videos that are members only for a few days before they go live, or at least a day before they go live. So you get all that stuff early, in addition to a crap ton of stuff that's out there. Sometimes I do long form. Sometimes, just real quick as a plug for my members only, sometimes I do a video that's an hour and a half or 2 hours long. And I say, okay, I'm going to do another hour or two on this, but it's enough for the public. I'll do that members only for the bonus content. So if you liked the rant and you're like, I want to hear what you said for the last 2 hours, sometimes you have to catch that on the member only area. Because I think you get fatigue if you talk about it too much.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm trying to find that question from earlier about Idaho 4. I can't see.
Oh, is it the one about
it was about Quinn. It was
I was
something
going
about
to tell you to bring that back up.
Yeah, that he apparently called something about him calling 911 or something.
Thank
Yeah, I was like,
wow.
Holy shit. Look at
No
that.
shit. Look at that.
Look
Thank
at that.
wow.
Thank you so much. And by the way, not only thank you, but I want to take the moment to make sure you understand, in order to get a free membership, again, everything me paid for those memberships out of their own pocket. It cost them the actual money of membership. They bought you a free membership. It is not a commitment on your part. You get it for free. It doesn't automatically renew your credit card or some shit like that. You'll get asked at the end of the free trial or whatever if you want to continue it or not. And it will not auto charge you. But that costs them actual money. And the only way you can get it is if you turned on in YouTube the ability to receive gift membership. So hopefully you've done that, and hopefully you get a membership tonight out of that. Thank you, Everything Me, for supporting the channel in all the millions of ways that you do. It much appreciated what you do for the channel. Thank you.
That is amazing. Congrats to all the new members too.
Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, enjoy the content.
So I feel like I got derailed there for a second. What was I going to say? Yeah, somebody made the comment. I don't care if you piss off the wrong people, your home security is like pissing in the wind. Yeah. You're right. I unfortunately, I had to tell my wife this as well. As a husband, you have to ask your wife, are you willing to accept what I'm doing for a living? Because it literally could get you killed someday. Are you okay with that? And she's like, well, I'm not a fan of dying. I'm like, not a fan of dying either. But you have to accept the possibility that, if you really want me to shut up because it's making you too nervous, then I need to know. So fortunately, at the moment, I have the wife's buy-in to take that risk. And hopefully that's a ridiculous level of risk, right? It's hopefully they can't kill everybody in America. So
I swear to God, we're related, Lee. I had the same conversation with my wife 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Identical. She said, no, I know you. It'll be okay. That's all she said. Okay.
Yeah, I'm very blessed to have again, I feel like it's the right thing to get your spouse's buy-in, especially when you're putting their life in danger. And so I wanted to make sure it was clear that that's a real possibility. I hope not, but it's a real possibility. And so anyways,
I'm curious about that Quinn thing.
I know. I'm trying to find it.
Because that's something that's been talked about in the forums and things like that.
But apparently, but he was saying that he wasn't even in Moscow. I mean, he
mustn't have been there then. If he said,
I'm just saying that was the whole big story that he was saying. I mean, I think I've thought from the beginning that he's been there because Dylan, going by Dylan's behavior, we talked about it several times. What was it? Within a month before, where they went shopping and they thought someone was in the house. Mm-hmm. They came back and they went around the house with a golf club. Investigating the house. And she said she texted or called Quinn. So, to me, if you're gonna say like, oh, it's a college town. These are kids. They don't want to call 911 right away. They don't know everything going on. Right. Even if you want to buy that in behavior, maybe she didn't see the blood yet, or they didn't see the blood, so they don't know. She would have called or texted Quinn. And what would be the number one reason that she wouldn't call or text Quinn if he's there? He's very close.
And I've speculated. I'll get to this comment, by the way. Thank you for this gift and this comment. I'll get to this in just a moment. But I have speculated as well how easy it would have been to establish an alibi, because again, that night Dylan supposedly called Quinn in Boise, Idaho, to establish that his phone was in Boise, Idaho. But like I said, it just takes 2 seconds to establish that kind of thing. Hey, I'm going to leave my phone in Idaho with somebody to answer the phone call. That way it looks like I picked up my phone and had a phone call, and everything will give you that alibi when you could be somewhere completely different. And it always felt like there's a possibility that could have happened, that the alibi could have been established. Hey, look, I'm in Boise. I'm 5.5 hours away. I can't possibly have been the person there, when it was conveniently timed to have an alibi during the time of the murders. Now, granted, it may have actually been what they said it was. Don't get me wrong. It could have been what they said it was, but it also could have been a convenient alibi that people don't seem to. I said I was going to get back to the comment. People don't seem to understand. Cell phone activity is not proof of dick. People will say, "Oh, well, if Diana was on the phone at 4 o'clock in the morning, that means she was alive." Cell phone information is not proof of life. Anybody could have used that phone. A cell phone call being picked up is not proof of who's on the other side. Use some of your brain to realize those things do not prove dick. Yeah. it may be part of the narrative, and you need to ask the question, well, how, then you have to ask who did pick up the phone or who did place. Yes, you have to answer those things, but it's not proof of anything.
Right.
Anyways, thank you for the comment. I saw there was a talk about the Murdaugh appeal coming up. By the way, just real quick on the Murdaugh appeal, and then we'll get the Phoenix Rising's comment. The Murdaugh appeal is interesting. I really wanted to talk to Ali Benevento. If you've seen her on my show, she's a criminal defense attorney from South Carolina. Ali and I are planning to get together to talk about Luigi Mangione and Brian Koberger very soon. Ali is kind of personally related to the Murdaugh case. She had met and friends with the Murdaughs. She actually testified in the first trial as a character witness, and so she's super interested in that case, and she was going to talk about it, but she has to talk about it in limited ways because she's actually literally somehow related to.
That's another whole. That's a whole nother wacky case.
Yeah.
DA, I watched a video last night saying the reason Dylan's boyfriend Quinn wasn't called was because he was there in the house visiting her and said he called 911, but cops didn't respond. So he's saying, yeah, right. So there's a lot of rumor and speculation about Quinn.
Yeah.
A lot. We've covered it in several of my videos as well. And it sounds like Dago's probably covered it. And Birdie covers it. And everybody and their dogs covered it. But can you prove anything? Let me give you the mainstream narrative thing. Well, Brian Koberger pled guilty, you dumbasses. We know who did it. So.
Yes, absolutely.
I hope you understand that was sarcasm and not calling anybody an actual dumbass.
Of course.
Anyways, what else do we have? Any other comments, questions, concerns before we wrap up for the night? What a great show. I felt like this was really cool. Even being the guy who knows dick about Delphi, I felt like it was super fun to talk so much about Delphi. And Dago, to your credit, you didn't make me feel like I had no room talking to you about it. So thank you so much for that.
Never.
And I would love to have you.
The show was able to be longer because when I get started talking on that one, it's almost like you have to punch me in the mouth to shut me up about it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So Dago, are you doing a show tomorrow?
Oh yeah, I gotta continue where I dropped off. There's so much
what do you have? What's on the agenda tomorrow?
I'm gonna actually try to make it there at 11 tomorrow. Unfortunately, my stupid bipolar weather here in Ohio killed my internet this morning, so I didn't get it back until 1. Tomorrow, guys, we're going to be talking more about Ron Logan and some of the other alternate suspects and some other things involving those people, and just more insight into the things that I didn't get to touch on today. There was so much that we hit today in a short period of time. Well, it wasn't short; it was pretty long, but I'm hoping to wrap up the rest of it tomorrow and approaching and talking about the appeal and things like that tomorrow. So.
Gosh, I wish I wish I had the energy to watch everyone's show because I'm fucking wanting to see what you talk about tomorrow. But
I'll be there.
I'm literally covering 5 or 6 cases, and I'm trying to do my own research and stuff like that. So we'll talk about it.
Absolutely. One was there. He was a trooper. He was there most.
You got to use your vampire powers, and
I don't have those. Quite yet. Should I take? I still take naps. I'm tired.
Sleep when you're dead. That's how I look at it. That's how I feel, at least. That's how I am because I sleep 2 hours, 3 hours a night, and I'm back at it. So let me ask you though, one. Did you get anything out of my show today?
It was excellent.
Okay,
it was excellent.
That's what I need to hear to understand if I'm doing it right. People are doing
no, it was great. It was great, and I know and you had a few people that popped in. I know. I appreciate. I know you said you have many law enforcement people retired or whatever from your family, so I appreciate you taking some of the comments that you made because I know
the story.
We cover just the way that it is. These cases and everything that we cover, unfortunately, do broadcast and show all the crazy corruption and the
sure,
and the Reed interview techniques and all this crazy confession stuff, and it does it paints law enforcement kind of in a bad eye, and
agreed.
It should be showcased because the stuff is really ridiculous what is going on, but. Some people in the comments there, were a little, they get a little rough, but
and I will not, as you saw and you heard me say, I'm never, if you're in my channel, I'm gonna do the same thing that Lee does over here. I promise you, nobody's gonna say nothing over there about you specifically for law, because I told a story just to understand this, guys. I come from a law enforcement family. My biological father was a police officer. My uncle is still, well, he's retired now, but he was up until recently a police officer. And my grandfather, their father, was a officer, detective, and a chief. Okay. And I come from law enforcement. The only one of those three men that was a by the book, on top of following the law police officer was my uncle. My biological father and my grandfather were both crooked. It's fact. Okay. You know, we're in an area that was very mafia oriented back in the 70s and the 80s. Okay. Youngstown, Ohio is where that was at that point in time. And they were heavy, hardcore. And people took money, people took bribes to look in different directions and allow things. And two of my family members, my father and grandfather, were those guys. But my uncle would never do it. And that's what I'm trying to say. You can separate them, even in the same family. Okay. They can separate if they choose to do it. And it's a choice. Money is money to some people, and money is nothing to others, is all I was saying. So there are good police officers, folks. Yeah. There is good law enforcement, and they need to be respected. We need them no matter what. But there are, yes, some bad ones out there. So that's all I was trying to prove.
Yeah. And it's crazy. And I'm thankful to have a lot of corruption, a lot of stuff, and you know, just like we're a lot of. I'm sure in the 70s and 80s, I'm sure it was a wild. From what I know and what I've heard, it was wild west.
Oh yeah, it was
in New York City. The drugs were insane. Me personally, I've actually, you know, I wasn't a police officer. I was back then. I was only born in 1980, but I was actually offered. I'd been offered a few bribes myself, actually, in my career, and it was before. Now it's kind of it's would be real easy to really get someone on it because we have body cameras. But before body cameras, it was actually kind of complicated. What we actually had to do before. So if someone offered you a bribe, you have to. It's not enough. They would not accept. So whatever the charge was, whatever you were getting, you know, whatever you got the person in. So one specific case that I was involved with the arrest, we pulled this car over, and the guy was wound up having cocaine and wound up having a knife, and I was offered $3,000 to let his friend go. And the hard part about it is that it's not enough I can't just charge this guy with bribery. I actually had to get him to say it a second time. I had to basically fool him. So while he was being
confirming what he's offering,
while he was being fingerprinted in our fingerprint machine, I had to hide a tape recorder, and basically what the trick is, I had to say, well, I gotta get. Remember, because you have to be very careful how you word it. I couldn't just say, remember you offered me money. I had to kind of say, remember what we spoke about before? Right, yeah. Well, if you want that to go through, I have to get my boss in on it. So, I had to get him to say, well, you take 3,000 and give your boss, I'll give him 1,000. I had to get, and then once you get it on tape, it's funny because there winds up being a pretty big charge. They'll play the tape. They wind up playing the tape. And
here's
so
this
guy thinks he's just being charged with a small amount of cocaine and the knife. And then they play the tape and they're like, well, you know that you in a police facility, you could be recorded and whatnot, and then they go through the whole thing. Is this your voice? Is this your, and it winds up being, believe it or not, I could tell you, I would rather have on my record anything involved with a bribery arrest than any gun arrest.
Right.
At all, because it shows my proof of integrity. So to me, it's
there you go.
Yeah, and I was just going to say that, like, men of integrity, women of integrity as well. Like, I don't mean to mean gender, but men and women of integrity. That is, it's hard to find those because, again, in a relatively low level crime, you can offer in some, especially in small towns, a police officer enough money that it's a month or two salary under the table that they can just have by looking the other way. And that's going to convince a lot of people that you can do a lot of good. You can buy some gifts for your kids. You can do some other, and even more so in the big cases, when you're looking at like FBI's with that investigating drug cartels, the money that can be offered to those guys is more than they'll ever make in their career. And they can be offered that kind of money to look the other way. And that's hard. Absolutely. You have to literally be a person who just has so much integrity that, like, you can't buy me. Yes, you can change my entire life and my kids will be set, and I'll be set, and I'll be on easy street, but you can't buy my integrity. And so that's hard.
That's absolute. I mean, with my situation growing up, I didn't know anything. I was a kid, know, but when your grandfather and your dad are driving new Cadillacs every couple of years on a $20,000 a year salary in the 80s,
you're like, what?
and your uncle's driving a Chevette. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Right. So it's
just real quick. It's funny that you mentioned that. When I had a top secret security clearance, they look for things like that. They look to see if you're living outside of your means. Yep. So I had to give them financial statements. They had to know exactly what I had in the bank. And they would look for things like, gee, you bought a new car, and it seems like the car you bought is a little bit outside your pay grade. Yeah. Who's paying you off? So they look for that stuff when you have a security clearance. I don't know if they do it so much when in the police departments and stuff like that, but they certainly do when you're working for the government with a clearance, is they look to make sure you're not being bribed by the fact that you're living outside your means.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it didn't help that I was Italian either. I'll tell you that much. And my family, at least, it didn't help at all, because it was kind of like, it's just going to happen. You know what I mean? My uncle told me that story himself. He's like, yeah, peer pressure was bad, especially coming from your own father and brother. No. He said, but he did it, and I was very proud of him, because I was going to do the same thing. I was going to be a law enforcement officer, and I went the other direction, but I would have been the guy that would have fought against that, you guys, because I just don't believe in doing that kind of stuff. And that's what law enforcement's supposed to be about. And that's what my uncle, that's what he was all about. And I'm very proud of that. Unfortunately, I had a couple others that weren't, but it is what it is. So
I've been blessed on this channel to have one part of this is law enforcement who takes us seriously and supports the cause. We've had other officers that have come into the chat and supported it as well. And yet I had somebody just recently give me this whole, hey DA, my family, we live in Idaho, and all of our family's law enforcement, and we watch your show and laugh at you all the time. And I'm like, first of all, what a moron you are watching my show just so you can laugh at me. And it's too bad that your family doesn't apparently have more integrity than that.
Well, here's the thing: is there's people that will say stuff, Lee, that isn't true, just so that they can
It probably isn't. It probably isn't.
Try to get to you. Yeah, that's something to remember. I found out too. So
Oh yeah. Well, people want to come on and they want to say that we're fake or I'm fake or whatever. Believe me, if that's the worst thing that you can say, you should hear. I won't even say it on the live now. You should hear some of the stuff that I have heard.
Oh, I'm sure.
In the process of arrest, because I guess I would say the land before the time before body cameras.
There
are some crazy things that I have seen go on, and some of these guys they still everyone and their mother tries to make some kind of lawsuit. So even if they're guilty of whatever it is that you stopped them for, they're trying to get a rise out of you.
Oh yeah,
I know all the tricks. Usually they try. Usually the big thing is when you stop someone, and JJ would know. He studied behavior and psychology behavior. He would he's not a police officer, but people who usually get very, very defensive. So as soon as I stop someone or I pull them over, and if they get extremely, if they wind up getting arrested, obviously, we have to do what's come up, a search incident to lawful arrest. We have to check and voucher all their property. As soon as someone gets very defensive, like, oh, why are you checking my balls? What are you, are you gay? Are you this? Are you that? As soon as they say that, right away, I'm like, what are they hiding? What, this guy has something.
Yes.
you know.
Oh my God, I've seen it myself right in front of my face as
Right,
a firefighter,
right.
first responder. I've watched corruption happen in front of me, and they know we're standing there. They don't care. And I've also watched the same thing you're talking about, where when you come on a scene and there's law enforcement involved and you're watching this person react, you
Yep.
know that there's something that they've done wrong. You just kind of stand back and go, let's see how long this takes. You know what I mean? Seriously, it happens. So
Right.
By the way, just as a quick aside, and what I want to do, I'm going to make a quick aside about law enforcement and fire department in a second, because you know how both of these go. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the horn. I'm going to have JoJo or JoJo or JJ, Joe,
Whatever you
JJ.
want to call
Yeah,
me.
whatever the
I don't
fuck.
care.
Stay to the deep. We're gonna have him give his goodnight speech, say anything he wants to say, and then Dago, and then Robin, and then one, and then I'll close us out. But before I say that, yes, go Seahawks, having a great season. Somebody just said if the Seahawks play the Broncos again, we'll have to not be friends. I'm sorry that we kicked the shit out of you in that last Super Bowl we played together. Sorry, I don't mean to do that. I'm not that petty of a guy. I really am not that petty of a guy. But to be fair, yeah, the Seahawks are having a good season. But I wanted to say one thing about law enforcement and fire department I thought was funny. I had a friend that was from St. Louis, and he said it was in St. Louis, people don't call the police department. They call the fire department because they're afraid of the cops, because there's so many corrupt cops that if you're in trouble, they're like, for whatever you do, don't fucking call the cops. Call the fire department and have them come help you, because you don't want the police involved.
That's crazy.
I've heard that in more than one place, to be honest with you, Lee. I've heard that in a few places. So yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Joe or JJ, State of the Deep, what do you have to say on the way out tonight? Any thoughts or profound things to say?
Well, I'm glad that we're going to revisit the Delphi case and dig into what's happening with it now, because it's a good motivation for me to get up to speed on it. And I started doing my work. I'm still reading the Framed book, and it's always good to be here with you guys. Thank you to all of you and the Den. I promise I'll get up to speed on stuff, and going forward, I hope to get a little more information that I can share with everybody, because there's a few people here that know a heck of a lot more about it than I do. So I'll try to get there.
You and me both, man. We're both behind on the Delphi case, but Dago's going to help us get up to speed, and we'll do some research among all those other things. And Dago, don't forget to try to let's hook up so I can see those photos too, so I can kind of get my eyeballs on it. What do you've got for closing, Dago, for tonight?
Well, first and foremost, thank you again for having me here. I really do enjoy joining you guys every night, more and more. The more I'm here, the more I feel at home and more comfortable with all of you guys here in this awesome community over here. And I'm yes, I'm excited to be able to bring forth the Delphi case again. The Idaho's coming in my mouth every time.
I get it.
The Delphi case again. I was very upset at the end result when Richard Allen was convicted, and I'm glad to see that we have the ability to bring it forth once again. And hopefully this time that we will be able to get some kind of true justice out of this for Libby and Abby and their families. So I'm looking forward to doing that with you guys as well.
Real quick, Dago, I'm curious. Do you have any sense that the families feel that they got the right guy and therefore they won't see it as justice to overturn the conviction, or that? Do they think they got the right guy? Do you know?
I'll be honest with you. Mike and Becky Patty, they made statements after Allen was convicted that tell you, I think that they got justice, but the way they say it made me feel like they have doubt. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, fair enough. That's the tough part for us. Yeah, for us, we feel like it's a disrespect for the family to get the right guy, that you should get the right person. But not all the time the family feels the same way. Sometimes the family wants closure and they don't want it reopened, and they don't want the wounds reopened. And, it's hard because we have to decide, is it more important to get the truth or do you let it lie because it makes people feel better? That's the hard part that sometimes we have to ask.
Yeah. And I real quickly, I'm sorry I didn't get to say this first, but I did want to thank you guys as well. This entire community over here, the Den, Lee, 11 Robin, JJ, all of you guys for welcoming my community over here and my Blue crew as well. They're very, very, very delighted to be able to come over here and support your channel as well as myself over here when we're all together like this. So I want to thank you for having that and welcoming them as you guys have so very much.
Yeah, your community is our community. We feel like a brotherhood, sisterhood, whatever the hell you want to call it, a kinship with your audience. So
yeah.
I feel like they're a blended community. Your community is our community. I love what we're doing here. I think we're going to continue this for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Robin, what do you got for tonight?
Well, as always, just like you guys, wonderful to be here. I believe in what we are trying to do. Our channel, as well as Dago's and so many other creators, you know, what we're doing is important. We can't lose sight of that. And each and every person who comes in here, thank you for your support. Please make sure you like the videos, subscribe to the channel. Those things are free and they mean so much to us. And yes, we do have the memberships, and $2.99 is not, you know, every little bit, you know, and there's tons of great content. We want you along on this ride with us. Again, what we're doing is important, and it's just great to be a part of it. So thank you, Lee, for having me on the team, and yeah, so thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're working your ass off for this channel and for fighting crime and all those things. So thank you for everything that you do. One, what do you got for the evening?
I think 2026 we have a very good outlook coming. I think this partnership with the True Crime Cafe has been great. What, you know, this bond that we seem to be we have formed. Dago, your team over there has been nothing but kind and showing us with the, you know, warmest sense of love and respect, which is great. You got great info over there. We loved having you on Sunday. It was great. I know we do the show is a little bit different, a little kind of a different format that we do, but it was great having you on.
Time.
And
yeah.
Thank you. We loved your feedback and your interaction. And I know JJ wasn't able to hop on, but he was in the chat. You know, your comments and stuff were good too. But
it was a good time, and the community, my mods said they enjoyed it very much as well. And we thank you for having us last night, guys.
Yeah.
Very much so.
So just keep fighting the good fight, and don't be afraid to ask questions, and that's why we're here, to push for the truth, and hopefully we can make some change.
These mashup of our names.
I'm trying not to laugh. Right, I'm looking at it. I even added one.
The devil's meat,
devil's balls, and meat devils, and all sorts of shit. It's great. I love you guys.
I can't do it. Last thing I do want to say before I close tonight, I do feel honestly, I feel a sense of shame that I know that other creators watch our channel, and then they'll be like, hey, did you catch my show? And I haven't watched your channel. I really apologize. I really feel like I'm swimming an uphill battle. I'm constantly studying. I'm constantly doing stuff. I also have a life. I also have a wife. I also have so I don't know how I literally don't know how you guys do it. It is no sign for me, it's no disrespect. I hope you don't take it as a sign of disrespect that I can't watch all of your other channels out there. It's not I hate it every time someone says, hey, I watched your show. Did you watch mine? And I'm like, no, I haven't. And it's not because I don't want to. It's just I'm literally exhausted sometimes at the amount of time that I spend on this channel already. I just don't have the wheels. I have a whole team, by the way, that watches.
That's what you got me and Robin
content.
For.
Yes,
that's what you got us
I got
for.
a team that watches other people's content for me and gives me the talking points for the day. So I do my best. Thank you all for coming tonight. It's another great show. See you again next time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tomorrow we'll do it again. I got a video coming out every single morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, except for Sundays, which is at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So check it out, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks, everybody.
Good night, everybody.